Oh, okay. Because we're not right now.
Yeah.
Ah, there we are. All right. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about politics. There. Now that we're live, we're live. It's live. We're live. Yeah, it is. My hair is sticking out. That's all right. Happy Friday to you guys. Hey, I have an announcement to make. Actually, a couple. Something I'm going to share today with you guys is actually pretty vulnerable and very transparent. Hello, Shalom. Hi, Diane. Hi, Magnus. And Hairbow Beautiful Maid and Carmen. Hello. Thank you guys for coming on in. Glad that you're here. Wait, hold on. I'm going to make sure that this is shut off because you never know. I have a lot of personal audio on my computer. It would be so embarrassing if something personal went out over there on the internet webs. Okay. All right. We are on Periscope now. Yes, we are, Melanie. All right. Hey, welcome everybody. There. Okay, that was the issue. This thing was not tight. All right. Okay, so on this edition of Free for All Friday, it is exactly that. Free for All Friday. And the first thing I want to do is I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show, whether you're watching live or you're watching on the archive or you're listening to the podcast, which we now have probably on at least 10 different platforms that I know of. It might actually know. Yes, I saw. So I've been inspired by Shannon Mattern, and I don't know if you guys know who Shannon Mattern is, but she is the founder of WordPress BFF, and she has this 5-day free website thingy where you can actually go ahead and she'll teach you in 5 days how to set up a WordPress website, and then she's got all this other stuff. Anyway, she has a brand new podcast out, and I've been listening to it because, frankly, I really like it, and it's actually really good. And I'm going to tell you something here. I'm going to tell you the name of it. Hold on a minute. I want to make sure I promote it correctly. It's called Pep Talks for Side Hustlers. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I know a lot of you in our audience are actually business owners, or you are entrepreneurs, and or you are somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, but you really don't know how to go about it. Or you're kind of like me, kind of like, here I am. Oh, here, I'm in entrepreneur land. How did that happen? Anyway, Shannon started this Pep Talks for Side Hustlers podcast. I'm not sure how long ago, maybe 6 months ago or something. And recently, Vicki Fitch was on it. That's how I learned about it, because Vicki is her business coach, just like Vicki's been my business coach. And so I highly recommend this podcast to you guys. It is super good. It's called Pep Talks for Side Hustlers. And I love it because Shannon is very transparent with, I'm logging back now into Periscope. She's very transparent with her own process in being an entrepreneur. And it's interesting to me that, that it's taken me like, I don't know, 100 million years, it seems like, to figure out that I'm an entrepreneur, right? Bible News Radio is a company. It's a business. And we started this business like 14 years ago. But we actually never really made any money until like the past couple of years. And that was after I hired Vicki to be my business coach. And I actually listened and did what she said. And here is the thing, and this is the principle here. You can get knowledge, right? But wisdom is knowing how to apply the knowledge. And so, if you have ever been in the world of online marketing, and I know a lot of you are, because I know who some of you are, and you actually email me and you tell me, well, I don't know how to do this with my business. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to grow, blah, blah, etc., blah, 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 blah. So if you're really aware of who all the big the bigwig online entrepreneurs are. They sell their programs and all this other stuff, and some of them use the F word a lot, and they sell their books and they have that big personality. It's not a that's the word I want to use. It's not something I've actually seen really in the Christian world. Okay, let me just put it that way. In the world of Christian media, which is what we are in, Bible News Radio, there is a set dinosaur model, and I'm going to say the word dinosaur because it's a dinosaur model, where when a guest comes on a show, they get promoted for free. Advertisers pay a sub company, and you have a marketing department and all that, and a sales department, which goes out and they sell ads. And this is what you hear on traditional radio. Well, over the last 20 years, podcasting has exploded. I mean, really. And right now, podcasting has just exploded even more because 14 years ago, when Blog Talk Radio actually launched the first online streaming blog talk radio podcasting platform where you could actually live stream your audio show and garner an audience from all over the world. They weren't the only one doing it, but me and Bareface, we were there. We were on there. We were on the cutting edge of doing this in Christian media. In fact, we launched the very first Blog for Books program that all the Christian publishers to this day use. And what they do is they go to bloggers and they say, hey, I'll give you a free book in exchange for a review. I don't know why that happened.
In exchange for a review.
And what we did when we initially set it up was we went to the publishers, they contracted with us, we got the bloggers, and they put the ad of the book on the blog. And that's how it was. We were the middleman. Well, after 2 years, Christian publishers cut us out. And if I had Legal Shield back then, I probably would have went to them and said, excuse me, but you can't do that. You can't actually go to my people that I gave you. Just saying. But I didn't know any better. I really didn't. I didn't know any better. I had just graduated from graduate school with my master's in clinical psychology. So my background isn't in business. Which, by the way, if you ever decide you want to be a therapist, make sure you get a business degree to go with it, because most therapists don't make much money, especially as entrepreneurs or independent private practitioners. They really don't. People think that therapists make $1 gazillion, but they really don't. So anyway, I bring this up because Shannon inspired me. She inspired me in her latest podcast because what she does every month on her website is she actually gives her income and how much money she makes. And I know that there have been other entrepreneurs in the big business of online marketing and stuff who actually do this. So it's not like Shannon, this was original with Shannon. But I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to share with you what I made last month in July. And the reason I'm sharing this is because I want you guys to know. I'm not ashamed to tell you what we bring in. And I think it's also going to dispel a myth about certain things that, I hear a lot. Sometimes we get a lot of naysayers coming in, and everybody thinks all ministries are rolling in the dough. But before I set this up, I want you to know I'm not sharing this for any pity or sympathy in any way. I'm sharing this because as an entrepreneur, I have finally got to the place where I realize the value of what we do, because before we've been giving all this stuff away for free. And I've also gotten to the place where I kind of understand what I'm doing now. and we're making some changes, and we have needs, and we have, a pretty good size audience that watches us every single day. If you watch our show every day, we're here every day. We are live every day. Right? The difference between me and a host on Moody Radio is that Moody Radio pays that host thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars a month, in double digits usually, to do their 1 or 2 hour show, whatever it is. That's the difference. The difference is Moody Radio does this. Here, Bible News Radio is listener supported and advertiser supported. So I sent out an email today. If you're on my email list and you did not get it, you didn't open it yet, make sure you open it because all this stuff is in there. I'm going to read you part of what I wrote in my email, though. And this is also because I want you guys to support us, especially if you are somebody who watches us every single day, or you watch us frequently and you've never donated to our show. I really want you to consider to, prayerfully do that. Because I think if you're being blessed by the work of somebody, you really should donate to it if possible. Okay. So in July, for Bible News Radio, strictly Bible News Radio, Randall and I received $414 in donations, just donations. Those were mainly our pillars. I have 2 pillars that donate $100 a month. So of that, $200 was from 2 people, and then the rest was from a handful of other people. I advertised, I did 1 interview, and I got paid for it, $50. And my sponsor, Ariel Ministries, paid us $650, which they've been consistently paying for us. And I sold 1 advertisement for $30 to a disabled man who wanted a little bit of publicity for his book. So in total, in July, I made $1,144. Okay? So just so you know, that's what I made in July. Now, you guys know I've been talking a lot about Legal Shield, so I decided I would also include Legal Shield in this total. So I could be honest, so I could just share with you what I've made with Legal Shield. Now, I've only been doing Legal Shield about 2.5 months, so I'm actually at the low tier of the income stream with Legal Shield, and I'm sure it's taking me a lot longer to close a sale than it is somebody who's been in it for a long time. But last month in July, I made $265.36 from selling Legal Shield to the few people that I sold it to last month. And I made $180 as the bonus. I met a bonus goal. And so I made a total of $445.36 from Legal Shield, which, if you think about it, is not bad. It's actually about 1/3 of what Bible News Radio brought in. Okay, so that's why I'm actually so excited about Legal Shield, because when I saw that and I saw the potential to create more income for what I do here, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. Now, what I didn't do in my email, because I didn't have time to actually do it, was I actually didn't give you all of our expenses. And I can assure you that our expenses exceed what we brought in. I'll just say that. I mean, when you consider our overhead, our phone, our internet, the extra money we spend to live stream on all platforms, the time invested, etc., blah, 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 the different tools, it exceeds my combined income total, which was $1,589.36. So $1,589 was what we made last month. Now, I haven't gone back into the previous months this year to see if this, actually it will be lower. I can tell you, I already know that because I wasn't doing Legal Shield. So here's the thing, $1,589. Now, to me, this is exciting because it's probably more than we've ever made in the history of Bible News Radio. True story. And so I'm actually very encouraged by the total of $1,539. I totally am, because I actually see it as God's blessing. But when we express a need and we are invited to Oklahoma to cover a Prophecy Watchers conference, which I know is going to cost us about $1,400. And that's actually erring on the low end of that number, by the way. I didn't include gas for the car, and I didn't include food or anything like that in that total. So it'd probably be closer to $1,500 in total. So Prophecy Watchers has invited us to go to this, right? I already know that based on last month's income, that it would take everything I earn in 1 month to pay for that trip. That will last us for 4 days. From leaving here, driving there to Oklahoma, doing all the work, which we're not getting a paycheck for, and then taking all that and putting it back up here so that we can educate you guys, inform you guys, and encourage you guys, inspire you guys, give you the latest from literally the top Christian biblical prophecy experts in the world, which is going to be at this conference. And so that's why I'm asking you guys to donate to us, because we really do need help to cover that expense, because God has called us to do this. And you guys are the beneficiary of our work. I mean, you are. You're just like Paul wrote letters to his, the people that he wrote. You guys are, Everyday Bible News Radio is a video letter, let's just say, to you who's watching, wherever you are in the world. We are delivering good news to you. And so we need you to deliver back to us some money that can help us to continue to do the things that we need to do, so that eventually we can go ahead and eventually, become profitable and not just be at this level. I actually wrote in my email, which I've never done this before, by the way, but Shannon totally inspired me. I actually wrote that I would love to have us have a monthly income of at least $8,000 a month. And the reason why is because taxes will be probably a third of that. And right now we're in debt because of taxes and because of medical expenses that we've had with our animals and ourselves over the last 5 years. And we were ripped off, actually. So, we've been trying to build up back our income from all of that. So I know a lot of you guys are retired. Some of you work part-time jobs. Some of you work full-time. All I know, and I figured this out, is that if everybody on my email list actually donated $75, I think Tug unplugged it. If everybody on my email list actually donated $75 a month, we would be at that $8,000 a month thing, right? There are at least 15,000 people that come through this show every month. Can you imagine if only 100 of those people donated just a little bit and committed to it every month? We would reach that goal in no time. But the truth of the matter is I have a core group of probably a dozen people that give. About 6 of those give consistently through the month, and then the other ones every other month, maybe once a quarter, and all of that, which is why I picked up this extra job with Legal Shield, so that I could keep, trying to build the income. Now, as an entrepreneur, I have been working at trying to secure advertisers and stuff like that. But let's just face it, this is a full-time job, trying to, figure out where those people are and all that, especially in the Christian world, because in the Christian world, they expect everything for free, right? A regular Christian show is funded by advertisers. They have a whole marketing staff, whole sales team that does this. And for me and Randall, it's just me and Randall. And frankly, it's really just me, because Randall's spending all his time trying to get business with, his side company, and all of that. And so I just want to throw that out to you. And, first of all, thank you for listening to me, because honestly, it's kind of humbling to do this, but also encourage you. And, those of you who have donated to us, thank you. You have no idea how much that means, because even if it's $5, that $5 is something that I know I can depend on. You know what I mean? And yet, at the same time, I also have to say that for me, this has also been a growing experience with my walk with God and walking in faith, right? And I actually wanted to bring this up because this morning I was reading in Romans chapter 4. And if you're over on Bullhorn, which is a sponsor of our show, but we actually have been waiting 2 months to get paid from them, which is why it's not included in that total. But we are still consistently doing the work that we've contracted with them. So just so you know, that is something that's going on. But if you actually listen to the show over on Bullhorn, then one of the things that you will note is that I read Romans chapter 4 this morning. And there was a verse in there that actually stood out to me, and I remember, and I probably mentioned it on there as I was reading it. It's really hard for me not to go ahead and get into a Bible study on it when I'm doing it, right? But it had to do with Abraham, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it here. I'm going to try to find it here. Let's see here. Yeah, here it is. Okay, I'll just read the last paragraph right here. It says in beginning in Romans 4 verse 16, it said, "For this reason it is by faith, in order that it may be in accordance with grace, so that the promise will be guaranteed to all the descendants, not only to those who are of the law, but also to those who are of the faith of Abraham, who is the father of us all. As it is written, a father of many nations have I made you, in the presence of him whom he believed, even God who gives life to the dead and calls into being that which does not exist. In hope against hope he believed, so that he might become a father of many nations, according to that which he had spoken. So shall your descendants be. Without becoming weak in faith, he contemplated his own body, now as good as dead, since he was about 100 years old, and the deadness of Sarah's womb. Okay? Yet with respect to the promise of God, he did not waver in unbelief, but grew strong in faith, giving glory to God and being fully assured that what God had promised, he was also able to perform. Now you guys know what this was, right? God promised Abraham that he was going to have a child and that his descendants were going to be countless. Like, you could not count them, right? They were going to be all over the place. And yet, what's interesting is that Abraham was like 100 and Sarah was way beyond childbearing age. And yet here, good old Abraham, who's totally one of my favorite people, it says, yet with respect to the promise of God, he did not waver in unbelief, but grew strong in faith, giving glory to God, and being fully assured that what God had promised, he was also able to perform. Therefore, it was also credited to him as righteousness. Now, not for his sake only was it written that it was credited to him, but for our sake also, to whom it will be credited as those who believe in him who raised Jesus our Lord from the dead, he who was delivered over because of our transgressions and was raised because of our justification." I didn't say Sarah was 100 years old. I said Abraham was. So here's the thing. So this totally encouraged me, because as I was reading this, I was like, yeah, if we waver in unbelief, which most of us do, let's just admit it, especially when it comes to money. And if you're struggling with money, you totally do if you're human, right? I mean, I know this to be a fact with most people I talk to. But this encouraged me because, Abraham was called a friend of God. And, he is the one that we have this great story, him and Sarai, it was Sarai and then Sarah. And this is where, the descendants come, right? And we have this awesome, thing going on. And so it was totally, because I want to be known as a friend of God. You know what I mean? I want God to go, hey, you know what? That's my girl. That's Stacy Lynn. You know what? If I have a job, I have a job for you. I can rely on Stacy Lynn because she'll go and she'll do it, right? Doesn't matter if she's being paid $1 million or not. She will just do it because she heard my voice and she'll do it, right? This is what Abraham had, this faith. I want to be that person. And I'll tell you what, doing this, it's kind of made me this. It's made me that, because it's exciting to walk in faith, because you get all these great stories. And a lot of people who don't walk in faith, they don't have it. And they go, I don't understand why Christianity is so awesome. It's because they've never put their faith to the test, right? They've never actually trusted God with anything of significance or stepped out in faith. We love Peter. Why? Because he stepped on the water and he walked on it. If Pete had never stepped on the water, he never would have walked on it. And his faith would not have been, as strong as it was. Even though he denied the Lord, he still had more faith exercised, I think, out of all of the disciples in the Bible. I think we see Peter having, the most bold faith ever. Don't you? I mean, anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at. I wanted to just share this with you. and ask you if you'd support Bible News Radio with a monthly donation, become a pillar, let people know about the show. And if you sign up for Legal Shield, I got to tell you this story today too about Legal Shield. This is so cool. I was at pickleball this morning, and hopefully my friend will watch. I met a woman named Carol Ann. She's actually in New Jersey. Her and her husband came down to play pickleball and to see some stuff with her grandchildren. Anyway, and she was going to be leaving town, so I gave her my Legal Shield card. And she said, well, what's this? And so I started talking to her about it. She looked inside it. Inside the actual card, it talks about the basic services of Legal Shield. And this is what she said. I love it. She said this. She said to me, I'm trying to find the card. I actually don't have one of them up here. But she says to me, Legal Shield will do a will for you? And I said, yeah, it's only like $24.95 a month. She's like, really? I said, yeah. She goes, do they update it or anything? I said, yeah, every year you get to update it for free. You know, as long as you're paying your monthly $24.95 a month fee. And she goes, what else does this do? And she's looking at the thing. She's like, speeding tickets? Oh yeah, I know people that's a no-brainer. I said, yeah, the police will go. They'll get the ticket, and the attorneys will appear on your behalf. They'll write letters for you. She goes, contracts. It says here they'll review contracts. I said, yeah, up to 15 pages. That's included. Plus, there is a 25% discount on services that it won't think. She looked at me and she goes, this is a no-brainer. Everybody should have this. I should tell my daughter about this so she can make money. How do I make money doing this? Now, I was not looking for this I wasn't at pickleball to make a sale for Legal Shield, okay? But talking to Carol Ann today and just showing her that, like in a 10-minute conversation, she actually said that. And I thought, there you go. That is exactly somebody who gets it. They actually understand the value of what Legal Shield is. And those of you who have signed up already, I think you will too because of that. But anyway, I just had to share that because, again, that's God opening a door, hopefully. And, hopefully we'll be, blessing her family and doing all this other stuff. But they get it. It's kind of like the gospel, right? You present the gospel. Jesus died on the cross for you. Yeah, he did. Why? Because you're a sinner. And somebody had to pay the penalty of your sin. And so Jesus, who is completely innocent, and God, actually did it on your behalf. All you have to do is receive it. Really? What's in it? Wait, so is there a catch to this? Nope, there's no catch. The Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. It's really that simple. Do you believe that? Yeah, I believe it. Okay, then I'll just tell the Lord you're sorry. You want to follow him forever, and you'll be born again, and then start growing and being discipled in your faith, and you're good. It's that simple. It is that simple. And yet, this hardness of heart that comes with being human often jumps in the way, and people are resistant. Same thing. Legal Shield, greatest opportunity I've seen, seriously, in direct sales. I can tell you honestly, like Mary Kay, I never made that money. Avon, I never made that type of money in 2 months. Just saying. Just saying. Anyway, I should shut up, let Bareface talk. Because it is, after all, Free for All Friday.
What am I supposed to talk about?
I don't know. You want to weigh in on anything?
Well,
weigh in, Bareface. This is half your show. I need a drink of water.
Okay, I don't see, I can't think of anything to weigh in about.
I actually love liberals. Oh, yeah, we should probably talk about what we titled the show, huh?
Yeah, it seems we're halfway through it.
Sorry.
Pretty good idea.
I forgot about the thing. Does Legal Shield work in Sweden? No, it doesn't. Unfortunately, Magnus, it's only available in Canada, parts of Canada, and America. You just have to come move to America. That's it, buddy. All right, so if you really want to stop sinning because you're struggling with lust, Warden, then it is very possible to overcome that by coming to faith in Christ and then learning to crucify your flesh and to learn how to submit yourself unto the Lord and walk as a spiritually filled believer. So there you go. Okay. Anyway, so the let's see here. So do you have the video all set up?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you know the press secretary, Sarah Sanders. You know, she's also the daughter of Mike Huckabee. She has been vilified in the media. The liberal press can't stand her. They absolutely hate this lady. And she is a lady in the truest sense of the word, okay? Just saying. Anyway, this recent exchange took place with her and a liberal presser, guy from the press named Acosta. I guess his name Mr. Acosta. I don't know his first name. And this was what happened. And I thought you guys might like to see it because I think it's super cool how she handled herself. And hey, Paul, I see you over there on Facebook. Nice to see you. All right. Okay. So Randall's going to go ahead and play that for you.
All right. Here we go.
Follow up on Sarah's question from NPR. She asked you about Ivanka Trump's statement that the press is not the enemy of the people. And she asked you whether or not the press is the enemy of the people. You read off a laundry list of your concerns about the press and things that you feel like are misreported, but you did not say that the press is not the enemy of the people. And I think it would be a good thing if you were to say right here at this briefing that the press, the people who are gathered in this room right now, doing their jobs every day, asking questions of officials like the ones you brought forward earlier, are not the enemy of the people. I think we deserve that.
I think the president has made his position known. I also think it's ironic.
Would you mind telling us,
I'm
Sarah,
trying to answer your question. I politely waited, and I even called on you despite the fact that you interrupted me while calling on your colleague. I said it's ironic.
Which is why I interrupted.
I'm trying.
But if you finish, if you would not mind letting me have a follow-up, that would be fine. But
It's ironic, Jim, that not only you and the media attack the president for his rhetoric when they frequently lower the level of conversation in this country. Repeatedly, the media resorts to personal attacks without any content other than to incite anger. The media has attacked me personally on a number of occasions, including your own network, said I should be harassed as a life sentence, that I should be choked. ICE officials are not welcomed in their place of worship, and personal information is shared on the internet. When I was hosted by the Correspondents Association, of which almost all of you are members of, you brought a comedian up to attack my appearance and call me a traitor to my own gender. In fact, as far as I know, I'm the first press secretary in the history of the United States that's required Secret Service protection. The media continues to ratchet up the verbal assault against the president and everyone in this administration, and certainly we have a role to play, but the media has a role to play for the discourse in this country as well.
Yeah, now I have a couple of thoughts about this. The first one is that Jim Acosta, apparently was the guy's name. You know, what a butthead. Okay, I'm just going to say it that way. That's the politest way I can say it. What a jerk. You know, first of all, he's actually condescending, and he's talking to her as if she's some lower piece of trash from somewhere. I don't know where, but anyway, and basically saying you have to say that you have to renounce and say that the press isn't an enemy of the people. Really? Since when? First of all, if you are a Christian in America, the press hates you. If you're on Facebook and Twitter and Periscope and any other social media outlet, and you actually espouse a Christian biblical worldview, you denounce homosexuality as sin, you talk about life like it matters in the womb, these social media platforms spike. They actually spike our numbers. They will not let people see what we have to say because they have a negative media bias against conservatives and Christians. And so for this bozo to basically say, well, you have to denounce what you just said. Why? See, what that is, if you know what's going on, that is a bully tactic. That's this man who's so arrogant in his mind, thinking that he's so great, that trying to boss her around. And you know what? Sarah's like, yeah, look, excuse me, but, and you heard her response, to which I say amen and amen, and we have to keep praying for her because honestly, the first press secretary in the history of our country that has to have protection because of the nutcases on the left who don't like her. She was actually thrown out of a restaurant because of who she is. And we talk about discrimination and all this other stuff. I'm like, excuse me? Really? This woman should be like, she should be awarded a medal, I swear. Because because she's put up with a lot of stuff.
Now, do you think he was looking for her to actually, denounce that, or, just say flat out that the press is not the enemy of the people? Or do you think he was just looking for a statement that he could capitalize on and twist? And
I actually think that he wanted her to apologize. Because she will not back down on what she believes. And that's exactly where we are in this country. If you are a conservative, biblical Christian, and you hold a biblical worldview, let's say on marriage, one man, one woman, it's simple. God made it that way. Duh. Hello, the body parts go together. They don't, go in the wrong part of the body, etc., blah, blah, blah. Do you know how many wimpy pastors will not stand up for traditional marriage? Or Christians in general. I want to affirm gay marriage just because I don't want to be seen as an intolerant, hateful bigot. Really? I mean, how sad that you cannot have a backbone, to stand up for something that's actually real and not fake. And that's what they're mad about. They're mad because she will not back down, and they're mad because Donald Trump won't back down. And I have to tell you that our president, whether or not you like him or not, this man has a mind of his own, and he isn't going to be bought and paid for by other people. He's going to stand up for what he believes. He's going to do the best thing that he can for our economy, our economy. And let's just face it, he's doing a heck of a lot better for our economy than the bozo that was our president prior to him. And I'm trying to be polite because Barack Hussein Obama, frankly, is an enemy of America, in my opinion. He should have never been the president. And I think he was our president illegally because I don't think he's actually a citizen of our country legally based on the falsified documents that he put out. That the liberal media does not investigate because they're all part of it. I heard somebody say a long time ago that the press is like the unelected fifth arm of our government, right? So if you don't do what the press says, they will throw you and they'll just drag you through the mud.
Which is the fourth branch of government?
That's what I meant, the fourth branch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's the deep state, which...
Well, the deep state, and this is the other thing. First of all, I need to have Bob McGinnis back on our show, okay? But the deep state, actually, I just read, they are actually going for Trump big time, okay? Because he is not actually doing what they want.
Sure.
Amoroso, who was actually on Trump's TV show, The Apprentice, many years ago, and who rose to fame because of Trump, and Trump gave her a job. She actually just released a brand new book, and in that book, she's claiming that President Trump has actually had some type of mental breakdown and all this other stuff, and that he's going insane. That was all over.
And that there's a stand-in that appears at press conferences and stuff, a double, like Hillary's double.
Yeah, well, no, I didn't see that, but
no, I'm just.
But it was all over the Drudge Report yesterday.
Yeah, I just wonder how to make an accusation he has had some mental breakdown, gone insane. Well, then, how do you account for civilized and controlled behavior at various meetings and conferences, unless it's some sort of stand-in or something.
So here, somebody's saying it would be nice for the president to grow up. It would actually be really nice for the liberals to grow up. The liberals are the ones who are throwing a big fit, they throw a big fit. They're so intolerant and bigoted. Truly, in the truest sense of the word, they are complete babies.
As Sarah Sanders was just talking about, lowering the conversation to personal attacks.
They actually need pacifiers because they're babies. They really are. And I don't mean to be mean, but let's just face it. They are. They're babies. It's like, well, you're not making it, Yeah, it's like, oh, shut up. Here's your pacifier. Just go in your sandbox and play.
Tell us how you really feel, though.
I am telling you how I really feel.
Really?
I'm not afraid to give you my opinion. I never have been. Thank you to my mom for being outspoken. I'm just a little bit more gentle than I used to be. As I've gotten older and gotten more white hair, I've learned to be a little bit more gentle. The problem is, though, that liberals can't tolerate conservatives, and that's why we have problems. Now, we do have, let's just say this, we do have some nutcases on the right, too, that are like far right, that are extremists, and they can't tolerate, the liberals. So there's problems on both sides. But I believe that that's all part of the plan, right? That's part of the plan of the controlled media to go ahead and whip up all this stuff because they're brainwashing the masses, which is exactly why you need to shut off the media, except for the show, because the show's awesome, because I'm the host of it, and because I do what I can to encourage you from a biblical worldview. But anyway, all right, so that's my little rant on that. Yeah. So I should also say, if you haven't gotten your free Bible study yet from Ariel Ministries, the brand new one for this month in August is called Why is God Saving Gentiles Today? You guys can download that at our website, BibleNewsRadio.com. And it's on the resources page, right?
Yeah, if it will cooperate. There we go.
Okay. And of course, you guys can save 20% on anything in the bookstore at Ariel.org. In fact, I'm going to remind you again some of the stuff that you can get. And I'm not sure yet if I can hold this up. But there are a couple things. If you guys want to study the Bible from a Messianic Jewish perspective, Hebrews, James, 1st, 2nd Peter, and Jude is in this book. This is the exposition from a Messianic Jewish perspective. This is the Ariel's commentary. You can save 20% on this when you go to Ariel.org and look this up. Okay? I'm not sure of the actual price, but you can save 20% on this. And then we got the Come and See Bible Study series. We have 3 here that I actually have. There's the Word of God, its nature and content. That's this one here. And then there is What We Know About God, Theology Proper. You can get that one. And Messiah Yeshua, Divine Redeemer, Christology from a Messianic Jewish perspective. This one's my favorite one personally. But you can get all of these, save 20%. These ones are not that expensive either. It's not hardback, those are paperback. And then, of course, this book, if you want to learn more about Israel, this is called The Remnant of Israel, History, Theology, and Philosophy of the Messianic Jewish Community. This is another little book that you can get. These are all really easy to read. You can save 20%, and I highly recommend these books. In fact, Oliver Melnick actually designed this cover on this one, and he's a friend of mine, actually. I didn't even know that until I looked here on the back. So you guys can do that, and there's DVD sets we recommend on our website, and there's also MP3s you can download and get some good stuff. Instead of spending 10 hours a week or 5 hours a night or 3 hours a night watching liberal media stuff and getting all upset, it's better to get into God's Word and to learn it more so that you feel more bold in your faith and you know what you're talking about, and then you can go, I ain't gonna get stressed out about this. See, I don't get stressed out about the politics at all. In fact, people crack me up because they're like, why aren't you upset about Trump and all this stuff going on in the media? And I'm like, I don't care about it. I look at it because I see it's the world system. Because ultimately, if you know Bible prophecy, the world system has to become a one world system at one point. And I think we're at the end. And I think Trump is the last card. I believe he'll also be our president for another 4 years, barring his death or an assassination attempt or something like that. I think he will be our president again for another 4 years. And I'm not the only one. So, you look at this and you look at the bigger picture, there's really no reason to be afraid. I think we're near the end. I think the rapture is imminent, as always. And I think those people who are going to be left behind when the church is taken out and the Antichrist comes to power, when you're watching Israel, the Antichrist is going to be there in the temple, says, hey, I'm God. There's going to be peace and safety all over the place. That's what they're going to say. It'll be peace and safety for a couple months. But when that middle mark hits, literally the people left behind are going to go, oh my gosh, what did I do? Hi, Dana D. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for saying you love our broadcast. Where are you at in the world? Are you in? Your name suggests Texas, but I don't know. LL Media Group. Hey you, how you doing, girl? Glad to see you in here, Linda Lee, former guest in the show. Now she's bold. I'll tell you that right now. Christians always use situations like this to try to get people to think the end of the world coming. Well, Lee, actually, I'm not actually talking about the end of the world, actually. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, Bible prophecy and how it will ultimately be fulfilled. And so I don't have to worry about it. You're in Florida. Okay. Cool. We have quite a few people that tune in from Florida. Awesome. All right, so there's that. Also, the Bullhorn mobile app, you guys should download that. Still follow it. Just follow us on that. And you can hear me read the Bible and talk about other stuff on that. All right, did I forget anything? Okay, I already talked about pillars of the community. If you guys want to buy Legal Shield or ID Shield, you guys can. Actually, you know what? The one thing I want to tell you about that, how many of you want to make some extra money and be on my team? That's what I want. I want some of you guys to join my team and sell it with me. And so you guys can be blessed and learn and grow in your leadership and your sales and build a business on the side for yourself. And you know what? I'm going to tell you this. I'm just going to tell you it. It's $99 to start. That's it. Okay? And you'll make that back. You will make that back. As soon as you sell a couple of memberships, you'll make it back. And if you do it in 20 days, you'll make a $180 bonus on top of it, like I did. And it will be gone. Like that. You'll be going, oh my gosh, I already made a profit. Just so you know. It's not hard. And I'll train you, and the Legal Shield, the whole Legal Shield outfit is awesome at this. I mean, it's awesome. Anyway, I'm going to be quiet, let Randall talk, because Magnus wants to know what you think about the end times, Randall.
What I think about the end times?
Yep.
Well, I think there will be, the current age will end. The scripture talks about that. It doesn't give us a day and a time. People talk about a certain alignment of planets or signs in the stars or try to put all sorts of things, try to calculate all sorts of things to say they know when it's coming. And many people have named dates in the past. But, I mean, the scripture's pretty clear that Peter talks about in his second epistle about how, at the end of the world as we know it, how the elements will melt with fervent heat.
Linda said hi to you.
Hi, Linda. And that, its works will be burned up, the heavens and the earth will vanish away. We read about there in in Revelation and other places and the Old Testament prophets that the world as we know it will come to an end, and there will be a new heaven and a new earth in which the new Jerusalem will reside with all of its inhabitants. And given the dimensions of that city that we are given in Revelation, that it has to be a new earth to support a building of that size or a city of that size. The current earth would it'd be greatly lopsided and wouldn't quite work. But that new earth has no sun or moon, the night there. I'm not sure how that all works. But, as Yeshua said to the religious leaders at the time, you say that, the sky is red and, the weather will be good tomorrow. If it's red in the morning, you say, that there's poor weather ahead. He says you know how to discern the face of the sky, but you don't know how to discern the signs of the times, basically. And he was referring to his first coming that they should have been aware of because of all the things that are in prophecy. And just as all the things in prophecies of the first coming were fulfilled, there are prophecies concerning his second coming. Again, they don't give us month and day, time of day, hour, anything like that. But there are things that we can look for that tell us those things are near. And you can look at Matthew chapter 4, for example, and Joel chapter 2, and things in Hosea. I mean, could turn this into, I was going to say not a Bible study, but a sermon series of the end times. So there are, there are things happening now that tell us about just the nature of human culture, and that are some of these signs that precede a some of the things spoken of in Revelation, the rise of
Yeah.
the Antichrist, the one world government. And
Here's the thing: if you actually see the Antichrist, then I'm sorry. I don't think I'll know who he is because I'll be gone. That's what I think.
that's what I'm leaning toward too. But what
Well, this is why the Prophecy Watchers conference that's coming up in
Right.
October, 3 days after my big 5-0. Just so you know, hey Marty, nice to see you. And Oddvar, I think you came in too. Gina, hi Gina.
And notice it's prophecy
And Dottie.
watchers. It's not make up our own stuff. And well, the alignment of the stars means this, or the planets, or this means, and they're not looking at, looking only closer. Well, these things are happening, and in geopolitical, whatever. They're prophecy watchers because
Yeah.
the prophecy of God's word has been reliable up to this point. And so we're looking at unfulfilled prophecies and paying attention to those.
Yeah, well, there's going to be some really great speakers. Gary Stearman's going to be there. L.A. Marzulli, he's been on our show a lot. Bill and Claudia Koenig from Watch.org. If you guys aren't familiar with their work, you really need to be. Bill Salas, good friend of our show. Love Bill. It is so nice. Bill is with Prophecy Depot. He's written all these great books. He was like the nicest person I think I've ever met in terms of all the prophecy people. I mean, he's super cool. Very nice guy. Jan Markell from Olive Tree Views, a friend of mine. She's on regular radio. She told me actually a couple years ago that she brings in over $1 million and she broadcasts 1 day a week. But she's on regular radio and knows how to work that system. So that's just a comparison. Dr. David Reagan from lamblion.com. So Lamb Lion Ministries prophecy show. He's a bigwig in Christian prophecy. Dr. Tommy Ice, who I actually got to meet last year. He's with pretrib.org. Dr. Mark Hitchcock, another pastor. He's actually an attorney by training, written lots of good books. Mark has been on our show a couple times too. Gary Frazier, he's a former pastor, an evangelist, Bible prophecy teacher. A long time ago, he was on our show. He'll be there. Pastor Billy Crone from Get a Life Media. He's a pastor in Las Vegas, I believe. Danny Benjiji, he's going to be there. Gigi, sorry. Yeah, I actually, this last year when I met him, I totally messed his name up. He did not like it. My bad. Oh well. Avi Lipkin and Aaron, his son, they're going to be there. Brent Miller and Jr., Brent Miller Jr. and Sr., they're both going to be there again. My friend Carl Teichrup, who I absolutely love, he's with Carl Rocks. Carl is like me. He's like the male counterpart of me. We hit it off, and his wife Leanne is hilarious. I absolutely love her. They're in Canada. They're going to be coming down. And Don Perkins from accordingtoprophecy.org, he'll be there. Ken Johnson, who's a great Hebrew scholar as well, he'll be there again. We met him. Terry James from raptureready.com is going to be there. Jeff Kinley, who's also been on our show a couple times, he's going to be there. Richard Shaw, who's a filmmaker. He works with L.A. Marzulli. He'll be there. Dr. Michael Lake, by the way. I should tell you, Michael Lake is awesome. KingdomIntelligenceBriefing.com. I listen to everything Dr. Michael Lake does. In fact, I listened to 4 of his messages just this morning. Can't wait to see him again. He'll be there. Andy Woods, he is going to be there. He is He's awesome. I mean, he's awesome. Jack Langford from separationtruth.com. He'll be there again. Stephen Dill. I have not met him, but he's going to be there. Bob McGinnis, who's all over the media. He's exposed the deep state. In fact, he has a book called The Deep State. He's going to be there. Dr. Larry Ollison, Pastor Tom Hughes, who's actually been on our show. He's going to be there again. Doug Hershey, who's been on our show. He'll be there. Ryan Pitterson wrote the book about the Nephilim. He will be there. And Dr. David Schnittiger from Southwest Prophecy Ministries. He's going to be there. I actually met him last year too. So these are going to be the speakers at Prophecy Watchers. And I know most of them because they've either been on our show or we met in person, and they haven't yet to be on our show. But that's why you guys got to send us there and make sure that we go there without any debt. That would be awesome. And it's also why, if you listen to people like this, you are actually in the know, and you can't help but be excited about your faith. I'm just serious. I mean, these guys are awesome. We are in Tennessee. So we are hoping to drive to Oklahoma where this will be. They will be offering live streaming for this. So you can actually get it on the live stream. You can watch it online. But I'll tell you what, Randall and I, we went there last year. It was the first time going to one of the conferences. And it was awesome. It was awesome for me and Randall because we have known so many of these people for so many years. We've had them on our show for well over a decade for some of these guys, but we never met them in person. So it was super cool to give them a hug and go, I'm out of the box. I'm real. You can touch me. In fact, it was so funny meeting Carl because we went to, what restaurant was it? I guess it doesn't matter. But we walked into this restaurant. I recognized Dr. Michael Lake. He didn't know me. And so I was going to go and meet Dr. Lake. And then I saw Carl sitting there in the booth, and Carl turned around. He saw me, and it was like, oh my gosh, because he didn't know I was going to be there. And he leapt in my arms, and I leapt in his, and everybody was like, oh my gosh, and everybody hugged and everything, and then we talked forever, and it was great. But anyway, I cannot believe the show's almost over. That's crazy. So, question is, how many of you got questions for Bareface or me, or you want to put any comments here if this is your first time watching the show? It's a unique show, Free for All Friday, in case you don't know. If you're new to the show, let me give you a little bit of a teeny weeny background. I am by training a marriage and family therapist. God called me out of that into this. Been doing this for about 14 years. I am Randall's wife, also known as Bareface. It's not his real name, but I am his wife. And every day we look at the Bible and the news, and we talk about it. That's what we do. I interview a lot of people, although we are interviewing fewer people because the reason why is because our audience tends to really like the politics and the news and the fact that we talk about the gay agenda, we talk about the life issue, we talk about all the hard issues that nobody wants to talk about because it's too controversial, but it's fun. So we do that, and we're on at 4 p.m. Central Time. We actually stream live on our Facebook page at Bible News Radio on Facebook. We have a YouTube page, which you should subscribe to, Bible News Radio on YouTube. Periscope, you're obviously on. And we're all over podcasting. We have our show on iTunes and all over the place. And just this week, I put our show up over on Anchor. So if you're not on Anchor, then you can go and search Bible News Radio and get it there on your phone. And now Randall is going to tell you a little bit about who he is, because it's super important that you know. And by the way, me and Randall have been married almost 26 years, in case
working on it.
We're getting old. I mean, when I first met him, he had brown hair, and that was it.
I still do.
Well, but that was that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we are on Bullhorn, too. That's right. I post my show on Bullhorn, and none of you tune in and listen to it on Bullhorn, do you?
But it's there.
But it's there.
Well, I was born at a very young age, and started off in school as a music major, but then got my degree in computer information systems, which served me well financially in various IT roles. Lastly, which was that of partner in a software development firm. What?
Yeah, I'm laughing at the comments.
I can't see the comments.
I know.
All right.
They're talking about how we used to, getting gray hair is a sign of wisdom, hopefully.
Yep. Crown of glory going on here.
I love my hair. I can't wait till it gets totally white. Go on.
So anyway, came to faith in Yeshua as my Messiah, Jesus, as the Christ, at age 21, which, do the math, was 33 years ago.
I figured out I've been a Christian about 36 years. And you've been a Christian just a little bit less than that. So, yeah.
So anyway, just been involved in various various facets of ministry. I can talk. Usually that involve Bible teaching in some way, shape, or form. Be that in adult Sunday school classes, or bringing a message to a jail or a detention center, or on through the interwebs, various ways to do that. And
He talks a lot slower than I do.
yeah, I do. I'm a man. I've only got 15,000 words or something I'm going to use in the day, and so I try to space them out. But I don't know what else to say, really.
Well, you guys have any questions? The days have arrived where Christians are considered idiots, crazy, or now in a cult, says J.D. Kennedy. Yeah, yeah, we are on Facebook. Dana D, we are on Facebook. Just look for Bible News Radio. We're over there. We're actually right there. I see us. There we are. Yeah. Christians have always been hated. If you're a real Christian, you're going to be hated, okay? If you're a fake Christian, if you're one of these posers and, in the pulpit, or you're something else, you're like, whatever. You blend in with the world, and it's like you advocate the world stuff, so they really don't care. Like we talked about yesterday, the beer and the Bible study and the pulpit. It's like, gee, that makes me want to go there. Randall thinks upon his info, Stacy is just having fun. Yeah, I like to have fun, but I hopefully give you a message at the same time. I have actually had pastors tune into this show. I remember one time actually we have quite a few pastors that tune in, but I remember one time a pastor was tuning into the show, and I was making the point that the devil hates us because we're created in God's image. That's why homosexuality and the abortion issue are so rampant, because it's a literal assault on God's image and humanity. And the pastor's like, I have never heard that before. And I'm like, keep listening to the show. You might learn something. Or open your Bible. You might want to read it, Pastor, whatever your name is. No. Honestly, I still trust in God. Been going through so much for 5 years now. You know what? Good. Not that you're going through something. Somebody once said that we're either in the fire, we're getting ready to jump in the fire, or we're getting ready to jump out of the fire. So either way, we're in, or we're getting ready to go out. And, I can tell you that it is more fun to be out of it when you look at the fruit. Does Randall like being called Bareface? That's what JD wants to know.
I'm used to it. It's not my real name, but I'm used to it.
That doesn't answer the question. Do you like it? If all of a sudden you say, no, I hate this, I'm going to...
You're gonna smack me, right?
No, I wouldn't smack you. I'd be like, well, why didn't you just say something? I'm
used to it.
Well, hey, I only give nicknames to people I really like, right? Just so you know. Hi, Diane, over on Facebook. I see you. Don't worry. I know where you are. You should come tomorrow so we can play more. Is it a native name? Bareface? No, the Randall's name
native to Stacy's world. Yeah.
Randall is his name is Randall, and his mom called him Randall Pandlebear when he was little, And I thought that was cute. And so I started calling him that. When we were first married, I called him that all the time. I called him Bareface. Just to embarrass him, actually. I mean, true story. I'm not lying. He's
Well,
just...
you used the full RPB, though.
Yeah,
Or just the
Randall Pandlebear.
Oh.
Yeah. People never said anything, though. That's the funny part. But now, it's so funny here on Periscope and, Facebook, when people tune into the show, if I call you that, they're like, oh, yeah, there's Pastor Bareface is on the... Yeah, there's Bareface. See, now everybody started calling him. That wasn't my intent. I'm his wife.
Yeah,
Wives have special privileges.
true.
Like we get to, experience gas, with your
Yeah.
mate. That type of stuff. The
Right.
snoring. Other fun stuff. Like big teddy bear hugs. Anyway. So it's my special privilege. And all you people started just calling him Bareface. I didn't say you could. Did I say you could call my husband Bareface? And yeah, it's funny even on the pickleball court, some people call him Bareface now. It's cute. I like it. And it's people, I don't have nicknames. Very few people actually call me a nickname, which is kind of weird.
Well, your name isn't Nick. So,
A
Nicholas.
nickname.
Okay.
I mean, I give myself a nickname. I'm a great one. Yeah, I am. Not. No, actually, people generally call me Stace. When they feel close to me, they call me Stace, and I don't mind that. I prefer.
Do you like it?
No, I don't mind it. I do.
But do you like it?
I do like it.
Okay.
Yeah, Stacy Lynn, I prefer though. When people call me Stacy Lynn, which there are so few people that do, Vicky Fitch is probably the only one that actually consistently calls me that. So that's really her nickname for me. But even though I introduce myself as Stacy Lynn, do people say they call me that? Nope, they call me Stacy. Stacy Lynn is the name. Jesus gave new names to his disciples. Yes, he did. Mm-hmm. I always wonder what mine's going to be. I don't know. I have no idea.
The one written on a white stone that no one else will know?
Yeah. Actually, I think that's a select people. I think if you read that,
Yeah.
I think you read that passage in context, that's only for select people. I don't think it's for everybody. And the reason I say that is because I actually really was. Diane called me Stacy Lou, which is funny because she calls me that, and I'm like, that's not my name. but I actually don't mind it. I don't mind it. Actually, you can call me that. You can call me whatever you want, Diane. It's sweet. I love it. Yeah.
Well, it's the one that overcomes.
Yeah, so that might not be everybody.
Right.
Might
Well-
not be. You don't know.
Well, those that don't overcome, does it even matter?
Actually, JR calls me Marshmallow. Yeah, that's a nickname. JR gave me a nickname. He calls me Marshmallow. What's the difference between disciples and apostles? Magnus wants to know.
Without getting too deep into the Greek, basically, disciples is, well,
Wait. How many people actually, as Christians, say that when they're answering a Bible question without getting too deep into the Greek? If that doesn't tell you that he's got the gift of teaching, I don't know. I don't know what would.
Well, it's
No.
just that our English words are derived, pretty much directly from the Greek language. But you think of disciple, you think of discipline. Disciple is, at its root, it means teaching, instruction, and following in the instruction. Apostle, apostoles, is one who is sent out. And where in general an apostle is someone who is sent out, and modern day people call themselves apostles. The capital A apostle, the one sent out by Yeshua himself, the criteria is given in Acts chapter 1 about those who were with him and that he chose, basically. So the 12, which became 11, and later 12 again, I think, with Paul. He was around at the time of, Yeshua was certainly whenever he was in Jerusalem, because of, he was aware what was going on, and when Stephen was martyred, he was there, and that was not too long after the ascension. So I'm going to guess Paul may have had some contact or observation with Christ in the flesh, but then certainly on the road to Damascus,
Okay, so
and was
Melanie has a question too.
specifically sent out. Yeah.
Yeah. So Melanie's question is, how many Bible prophecies have already been fulfilled?
Well, that's a really good question.
My guess is that there have been 3/4 of the prophecies already filled. That's my guess.
But how many is that?
I don't know.
I
I haven't
can't-
counted them.
I haven't given a count.
I'm pretty sure somebody knows that answer though.
I don't doubt it.
I'm pretty sure that somebody in our prophecy network of people
Oh,
probably knows.
Probably.
But I would say there's more Bible prophecy that's ever been fulfilled in our lifetime because of the reestablishment of the nation of Israel.
Right.
The last 70 years, in fact, that's one of the big issues that's going to be talked about at this prophecy conference is the 70th year anniversary of the reestablishment of the nation of Israel, which is another reason I want to go. Because, as you guys know, I found out I'm part Jewish, and I never knew that. So, God, I'm part of the chosen people.
That was a stumbling block to Bible students and scholars for centuries.
That's right.
The fact that, in AD 70, that the remnants of Israel had been destroyed, temple destroyed, all that, and scattered to the four winds, basically, and the land left desolate for centuries. And the fact that, so many prophecies talk about the return of the people to the land and the establishment of the nation in a day, et cetera, et cetera. There are so many things that you're right. You're absolutely right, Stacy Lou. That I guess in our lifetimes, because we're seeing the fruit literally.
Okay, let me go ahead. There's another comment here. C. Jensen says, destroy, laughing emojis that with tears coming out. Does destroy mean crying? If so, she's definitely destroying them. Referring to Sarah Sanders' comments. Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure that they're like, oh, man, I couldn't.
Oh, is that the title we picked?
Yeah, the title has to do with Sarah Sanders.
I know, but...
because when we use other simple, Sanders destroys liberal press. Yeah, when we actually use a benign title, like nobody will come in. It'd be like Free for All Friday, anything goes. What? That's stupid. You got to use insightful clickbait in order to get people.
Damn.
How to? Hey, I can write good headlines. I know how to do this. I've done it for a while, but.
And when somebody says,
our regular
wipes the floor with or something like that, that's not true either, literally.
So let's end the show by talking about our dogs, because last night we had this incident at our house. We have 2 little Bijans. They're very cute, except one of them isn't that cute. He's evil. He's the face of evil. Yeah, he is. Anyway.
In your not so humble opinion.
It's Randall's baby. True story.
Our dog.
Randall's little baby, little Tuggleberry Hound is Randall's baby boy. So last night what did we do last night? Oh, we went and voted. Yeah, back here you can see my phone. I put my sticker on it. I voted. See, right there. I voted here in Tennessee. My candidate won, by the way.
Voted.
So when we came home,
Tennessee.
I finished my work because after I do the show, I upload the audio to numerous places. We write the show description. We do all this other stuff, right? Stuff that you take for granted because you're like, oh, it just shows up, but I do it. Anyway, so I'm doing all this stuff, and about 9:30ish, all of a sudden I hear this rustling of plastic, and I'm like, what the heck? I go into Randall's office. you have 6 dash hounds or dash hounds. How do you say that? I don't even know how to say that.
Dachshund.
It's not
Dachshund.
it's not spelled right.
What do you mean it's not spelled right? D-A-C-H.
Okay, I don't know how to pronounce it.
S.
Sorry. I always say it wrong. See,
Hund.
why does
It's
it
German.
It should be spelled D-O-X then instead of D-A-C-H, which anyway.
It's German. Hund
So,
means like the English word hound.
I go
dog,
into
dachshund.
the room next to me here in our house, and the generic brand of peppermint
like the Girl
the
Scout
Girl
thin
Scout
man,
yeah
thin
the
mint
thin that's
cookie.
it the thin mint cookies are gone, and Tug is there, and his teeth marks are all over the thing, and I'm like, uh-oh. I said, Randall, where's Grover? And she said, he's with me. So long story short, we knew that one of these dogs, or two of them,
One or more.
decided to eat these cookies. And the thing, this is the funny part. I asked Randall to hide them from me, okay? Because otherwise, I knew I was going to eat the whole thing, and I didn't want to, because that's not good for me. It's just not good for me to eat all of them, even though I love them all. So we were like, oh no, this has chocolate in it, so no, our dogs are gonna die. Because who was it? You know, we didn't know. So we immediately Googled, well, how do you deal with this, right?
Because there were quite a few left, at least a dozen.
Yeah. So to make a long story short, called a friend of mine from Pickleball who has a little farm, and
Seems to know quite a bit about animals.
yeah, and then we Googled, you know, what do you do? And there wasn't any. That's the thing. There was no chocolate on their fur. There was no minty smell in their mouth because I smelled both of their breaths. It was like they didn't even eat it. It's
Like they just evaporated.
yeah. And so so we induced vomiting in both our dogs last night. We
Better safe than sorry.
we made them both drink hydrogen peroxide because
Be like,
that's
drink up.
here, have
just,
some
just,
hydro.
just a little
Just
rinse. About
yeah.
a teaspoon worth.
Had to give Tug more because he's fatter. So we gave him a little bit more. Grover, poor little Grover, he was so upset. He was like, I know. And in retrospect, I think Grover knew it was Tug, and he was feeling bad because he finally got busted. And because Grover is a highly sensitive and empathetic dog. I mean,
That's the
it's
truth.
an understatement. So anyway, so they both threw up. and they tossed their cookies. We can laugh about this now because they're both fine. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, so they're good. They both slept good, and they've been eating fine. They're fine. They're fine. And I actually found out later that some other dog had done the same thing. I found it. There's this website apparently where you can ask a vet a question, pay $5, and this vet
24/7, I guess.
yeah, this person said, I had a dog eat my Girl Scout cookies. What do I do? And so it was there, visible. That dog was like 30 pounds. And anyway, the vet said, don't worry, it's not toxic. There's not enough chocolate in there to kill the dog or
It was
anything.
7 cookies, though.
Yeah, it was 7. Well, 12 isn't that many more than 7. But anyway, we were both a little freaked out about it because it's like, well, you know, we don't, because it said, first of all, when they both threw up, there was no cookies in it.
Yeah, so
Which
they
told
must
us-
have ate him a lot
I think
earlier.
They did it when we went to vote.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. And this
And
morning,
Tug was just going back to
to lick
clean
the-
up the molecules remaining.
Well, the funny thing is I guess today the residual feces was dark, and so apparently it was Tuggy Bear that actually did it. Grover apparently didn't do anything, but he ended up
Probably
having to vomit as well. Poor little guy. Anyway, so all of you guys who, prayed for them last night, I appreciate it. Thank you for doing that. Is there
They're
a
doing
company
well.
called Vet Shield? You could start it, Melanie. You could totally start it. That would be great.
Well, there is.
There is pet insurance through Legal Shield you can
Yes.
sign up for.
Uh,
So
discount on that.
anyway,
We might look into that.
yeah. All right, so this is it. You know, officially our
This is it.
our show is over. So, like, again, thank you guys for supporting our show. If you want to donate, go to BibleNewsRadio.com. If you want to sign up for Legal Shield or Identity Theft ID Shield, get in touch with me. If you want to be an associate and be on my team, get in touch with me. And that's it. I guess, Randall, are you going to do Weekends in the Word?
Yes. That's the plan.
You need to call them what is the name. I don't know what you're referring to, Dana. People might steal your DOS identity. Oh, yeah. They might no, they won't. There's actually a new social media pet network. It's called, I forgot what it's called. I got a weird press release about it this week. It's just for pets. You can put your pet picture up there, and it's like Facebook for pets. It's weird. I'm waiting for Dana's question because I don't want to end the show without answering it. So, the online vets. Oh, that was a joke that Melanie made up. Vet Shield. Melanie made that up because I sell Legal Shield.
No,
so-
but you were talking about the $5.
Oh, that. I don't know. You're gonna have to Google it because I have no idea what it is. Because it came up and I was actually on my phone, so I don't even know what website it was. But if you Google, your dog throwing up or eating cookies or eating chocolate, a whole bunch of things will come up. So that's what will come up. All right. Well, I have a meeting in about a half hour, so you guys. Remember, as I always say at the end of every show, and by the way, t-shirts are still available. Be bold, stand up, and go with God, because he loves you. All right? And if you need anything, make sure you join my email list over at BibleNewsRadio.com. That's where you can get in touch with us. All right, Natasha, see you later. Bye, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Have a good weekend. Randall will be doing Weekends in the Word, I guess, sometime this weekend.
Yeah.
And that's it.